You know, and I think one of the things about that is if I'm helping guys become better in their program, their kids already running our drills and the fashion of our offense, then that makes that kid one more step closer to being a successful college football player if he ends up with us. And we also want to make sure we're giving back to the coaches of the great state of Maine as well. We don't want to be takers. You know, we want to make sure we're doing our part and giving back to the state and the communities around us and the surrounding high schools and Pop Warner teams. With that being said, guys, I've been coaching over 16 years. This is definitely my second stint as quarterback coach. The last time I was quarterback coach, OC, I did it at Wagner College, and now this is my second opportunity to do it here at Bates. Previous stops before Bates College, Wagner College, Fordham, and CCSU. Had some good runs at all three places, developed some pretty good quarterbacks and won championships along the way. At this point, we'll start the presentation. I'm going to share my screen with everybody. Just let me know if you see it. Okay. Where's this thing at? Alrighty. So I got my presentation up. Let me see, can I pull it up?
You'll be able to hit share screen on the bottom, Coach, and then it should open up some windows where you can kind of click on what you want.
Got it. Yep. Can everybody see that screen now?
Yep, we got you, Coach. Awesome. Thank you.
Everybody got it? All right. The biggest thing here at Bates College that we are on the side of, we always tell our coaches, the biggest thing is if you're coaching here, you know, throughout the week, we're going to be teachers. We're going to be teachers, presenters. Saturday and Fridays is when we do our coaching and correcting, okay? So the biggest thing is today, football play, quarterback play 101 here. Let's kind of get started. I'm just going to fast forward this thing up. So one of the things here, table of contents, what we look for here at Bates College, the things we're going to talk about today is the quarterback, the traits that what it takes to play here at Bates. We're going to talk about our stance. We're going to talk about the grip of the football, and we're going to talk about ball placement. The next thing we're going to talk about is passing fundamentals. We're going to talk about upper body and lower body fundamentals as it pertains to the footwork, and we're going to talk about the throwing shoulders and the elbow. We're going to talk about the plant step and the target step and the daily drills that we do here at Bates College. Now, one of the things that we try to do here at Bates is we try to make sure that whatever we have on our script that particular day, if we have a high volume of quick game or sprint out, we want our indies to be based around our schematics that we have in that day or that week. So that way our kids are getting a lot of reps. And as well as you guys know, your 2s and 3s is not getting as much reps as your 1s. So what we want to do is try to implement a game day kind of feel or repetition kind of feel in our indie warm-up drills, okay? All right, the traits that we look for a quarterback here at Bates College, the first thing is academic and athletic fit. Academic, is the kid admissible to Bates? Can he do the work here at Bates College? That's number one. Then athletic fit, we prefer a kid that's kind of a dual threat. We want a kid that can run it and throw it, but we would not neglect a traditional drop back passer. We just ask that kid be pretty intelligent and he's able to get the ball in and out of his hands. We feel like we have a system that we can manipulate that can fit just about any quarterback that's on the market at that time, but we prefer a kid that can do both, a dual threat kid, a kid that can throw it, and a kid that can use his feet to make plays, okay? And we're not looking for a Lamar Jackson type kid. We're just looking for a willing runner, okay? The next thing is leadership quality. We want a kid that's got great leadership qualities about him. You know, he doesn't have to necessarily always be a vocal guy, but a guy that's going to do all the right things, that's going to be an extension of the coach staff, a kid that's going to lead by example. He's going to put people in the right position to make the right decision, including himself. So we want a guy that's going to lead by example, do everything with his actions, and if he's vocal, that's a bonus. The next thing, third, he's got to be a student of the game. We want a kid that wants to come in, meet with the coach, study, you know, make your coach earn that salary. You know, come in and, you know, get coached up in the books to find the details. Make us use the resources, you know, and stuff like that there, you know, and that's the biggest thing. We want a kid that has some grit to him, be a student of the game. And then overall, we want a kid that's going to be a hard worker. In the academic world as well as the athletic world, you know, when he's away from us, is he working hard in the classroom? Is he getting his projects done? Is he putting in the time away from us in the film room? Is he working hard on the practice field? Is he 5 minutes on the field? Is he leaving the field 30 minutes out of practice? Those are the kind of things we're looking for. Last but not least, mental toughness. You know, you got to be mentally tough. It's going to be some adverse situations. A quarterback is handling the ball 80 snaps or more a game, you know, depending on the type of offense. He's the one guy that's touching the ball every single snap. So we need him to have some mental toughness. Not everything's always going to be clean with him. And then the next thing is physical toughness. you know. All right, stance. The biggest thing is that we try to coach our guys on here. We are a shotgun operation team. So the base alignment for our quarterback is going to be in shotgun and pistol alignment for him and our running backs. But we are a shotgun team here at Bates College. The biggest thing, we talk stance here. We want to have a nice square stance. We want our feet shoulder width apart. We want our hands up. Okay, we want both feet, toes pointed forward. Okay, we want our knees slightly bent, and we want our hands up, eyes in front of the football, ready to catch it. The biggest thing we tell our quarterbacks is there's no such thing as a bad snap. You got to be willing to handle bad snaps. You got to be capable of handling bad snaps and getting us back online. So we don't want to make excuses for bad snaps. One of the things we do is we put our quarterback through some chaotic drills, and we purposely manipulate the snaps to make him bad to get him used to working through chaotic situations, because it's just going to be some times where the ball's going to be too high, too far to the side of him, or very low. So we try to get out of his head, there's no such thing as a bad snap. So we try to coach that mentality in that regard. Okay, so here's an example of us with Costa going through his stance again. You know, again, we want our hands up, eyes up on the football. We want our feet shoulder width apart. We want a slight bend of our knees, eyes on the football at all times. So you can see here where Brandon is kind of playing with his stance a little bit, trying to get the right stance here, making sure he's comfortable. We also want to make sure our kid is comfortable. Again, we want to make sure we're always coaching the lower body. Again, his hands for the snap, we want them always up, no matter what. As you're audibling, giving cadence, whatever direction you're giving, he needs to keep his hands always up at all times. The center can snap the ball at any time. You know, eyes on the football. Okay. Then now this brings me to the next phase, okay, of our indie warm-up period. So we'll go through our quarterback center exchange, okay? And we'll start our day off like this every day with the centers. And the biggest thing that we're gonna coach is proper stance. I can't say this enough. That's one of the things we gotta continue to do a better job myself here at Bates is coaching stance, okay? And then the next thing is what we're emphasizing there is quarterback center exchanges, okay? And we want to also incorporate the running back. So whatever your particular run scheme that you have in that day, you want to make sure you implement it during that time. That's a great time to get it, you know, get it in with the quarterbacks and centers while you got everybody there, those three people. The next thing that we're going to do with our quarterbacks is, again, based off the script, we're going to, at that time, take the time to go through and walk through in our steps, okay? So if we're running a high volume quick game, then we're going to work quick game fundamentals, right, left, and middle, okay? Same thing in drop back. Whatever our drop back scheme of that day is, we're gonna work our drop back footwork. And then also what I didn't tell you guys is I will always throw a concept at him and make him tell me the concept and then call back the progression that he's working. So that ensures that we know that he's getting his eyes and his body in the proper position, in the proper area to throw the football. The next thing is we talk about again is the pass game progression. So we'll get in there, we'll manipulate our quarterback center exchange, and we'll try to work on different drops, different play actions, or a mesh, but we'll try to get something done in that period other than just the center quarterback work and stats start snapping. We want to make sure we're getting some of our other backfield actions, like, again, you know, you may want to get better at your zone read, outside zone. That's a good chance to steal some of that. And again, whatever particular passes you work there or whatever screens, we'll work our screens out of with the quarterback centers, running backs as well, doing this quarterback center exchange. Here's an example, okay? And again, when we teach here, we try to give our kids examples of different programs around the country. You know, so we try to study a lot of the teams that run our offense that we run. So Middle Tennessee State is an air raid team, and is a team that we do mimic a lot outside of Oklahoma and a few other teams. So here's a good example of Rick Stockstill's son, who just finished this past year as a two or 3 year starter, had a great career. Here's a good picture of him with his hands up, feet shoulder width apart, ready to catch the football in the shotgun stance, with his hands up, ready to catch the snap at any time. Okay. The next thing is what you have to do a better job of coaching this here is that these folks here do a really good job of keying the snap based off your quarterback hands in the pocket. So if you got quarterback is giving instructions, his hands is down, right, left, and middle, then what the defense is going to do is once they see him start to raise his hand, that's when they're going to start to rotate that coverage. But if he's got his hands up at all time, they can't get a beat on. They can't get a beat on when you're snapping the ball, and maybe it forces them to show their hand a little quicker. But one of the things you'll see some of the better defensive coaches do, the time snaps and the play games with coverage and blitz and stunts, and stuff is that they're going to articulate off the quarterback hands. So make sure your quarterback is not giving away clues with his hands, and also he wants his hands at all times for ball security purposes. Again, sometimes the ball is snapped before we're ready for it, or sometimes just before snap. So here's a good example of him right here, executing a quick game in the pocket with a good stance to start. Again, everything starts for us in a good stance. Now, we don't teach the stagger stance, but if we did, we would tell our kid to stay, we'll try to say, hey, you got to stay consistent. You can't play with it. But we want to keep his feet kind of even as possible, okay? So I know a lot of guys are a little different with that. Okay. All right, so now the grip, okay? So we talk about our grip. We talk about the quarterback places his fingers on the laces. You know, he wants to place his little finger just below the fourth lace, the index finger and the middle finger, the last two fingers to lead the football. These fingers are the fingers that would dictate the type of velocity and the spin that the kid's going to get on the football. Thumb size, okay? Here's what I know about the thumb size of the football is gripping the football. The bigger the kid hands is, the more his thumb is going to favor the center of the football. The more small his hands is, like my little hands, like a woman's hands, so I describe mine when I played. The smaller the hand is, the more tip of the football hit that thumb is going to have. The bigger his hands is, the more it's going to sit towards the center of the football when we talk about the thumb placement of the football, okay? And so that's where it really depends on the thumb size from there. And so we talk about that. We want the thumb 3 inches from the point, perpendicular to the panels of the football. You know, the quarterback should adjust slightly until it feels comfortable. And again, we don't want no space between the palm and the football. We don't want any space between the palm and the football. And that's all we talk to our kids about, those 6 points, those 6 to 7 points of gripping the football, okay? And we'll check it, and we'll walk around, and we'll literally have them articulate this picture you see right here. And we'll do this in our meeting rooms. We'll do it on the field. So a lot of things what we try to do when we get on the field for our kids, outside of installing plays with them, we go ahead and install the drills of the day. We'll let them know, here's the drills. And if we got videos of those drills, we will also show them video examples of the drill and how it pertains and how it carries over into a game situation. All right, ball placement. Okay, when we talk about the pre-passive form, we want the quarterback to get the ball up. Okay, we want to make sure he's got the ball between his shoulders and his numbers and just below his earlobe here. And we always want the quarterback to have his chin on his shoulder. The biggest thing with putting the chin on the shoulder does is it helps his peripheral vision. He can't see the guy clean to his left, but he should be able to see movement. He should be able to see people vertical for him. And he should be able to articulate and be able to see to the right of him, okay? But he should be able to see people left and right of him with his chin on his shoulder, okay? And so we talk about that. You know, we want a pre-pass form that's going to generate consistent success of throwing the football, a consistent, efficient throwing motion. So again, we talk about the ball placement. We want it just below the ear. We want our elbows down. We don't want them out like we're choking the chicken. We want them nice and relaxed. We want 2 hands on the football, ball below our ear, and between our numbers and chin on the shoulder. Nice, relax, okay? The next thing is, when we talk just below the ear, elbows 4 inches away from the body. If you're looking for numbers and geometry and stuff like that, we talk about having those elbows 4 inches away from the body, nice and relaxed, okay? The next thing is, again, chin on the shoulder. So you see here, our quarterback Nick Dosher did a nice job of his ball placement, ball between the numbers and shoulders. He's got his chin right here on his non-throwing shoulder right here, okay? This will allow the quarterback to have full throwing view of the field and also without tipping his hand as much as well, and stuff like that. We want his shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder. We want that pointed at the target. And the reason being is we want him to spin his shoulder so he can increase the velocity on the football, okay? All right, so now we're going to talk lower body, okay? We're going to talk lower body. When we talk to our quarterback about lower body, we talk to him about, as you can see with Peyton Manning, this triangular base. We want this triangular base here for our quarterback, okay? Feet shoulder width apart, okay? We want a nice bend. We want both feet on the ground, and we want to keep our feet slightly high, okay? Am I speaking too fast? Everybody follow along? Mike?
Yeah, you're good, Coach. Keep rolling, man.
Okay, I just want to make sure I was okay. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Keep both feet on the ground, feet shoulder width apart, slight bend in our knees, and we want to keep them slightly hot and active, okay? And as we're throwing, and as we come from our plant foot, okay, from our plant to our target foot, okay, we want to step towards our target with a short step, which I'm going to talk more about that as we go along in this presentation. we want to get rotation of the torso. And what that does, it creates a velocity and accuracy on the football with the torso. Okay, upper body and lower body follow throw position. Okay, so this is the start, and then we're going to go through the square when he finishes up and he squares towards his target. Okay, so here's some examples here of Alex Smith. So we have some NFL examples, and we have some examples of our kid from Bates and stuff like that. So you're going to see Alex Smith get a chance to play with some of those fundamentals we just talked about. Okay, again, ball placement. Okay, ball placement now. He's getting the ball up and immediately. Here's that triangular base we talked about. Okay, we're going to talk plant step and target step in a minute. But here he does a nice job getting his ball up, okay, just underneath his earlobe here and between his numbers and between his armpits. He's got his chin on his shoulder here. He's got his chin on the shoulder. Okay, now the one thing is with Alex here, you would like to see him do is not lock his knee as much, but he does a good job. He bends it enough where he can bring the feet through and drive the ball. So here it is right here. Good pre-passing for him. He's got the ball up. He's got his elbows 4 inches from his body. Okay, he's got a nice clean drop here. Okay, chin on the shoulder. Okay, eyes out of field, not predetermined, so the defense don't get a beat on where he's going with the ball here. And again, what you would like to see him do here is have just a little bit slight more bend in his knee. Okay, footwork. Okay, the plant foot. Okay, when we talk the plant foot, it should be perpendicular to the receiver that you're throwing to. Okay, that you're throwing to, so you can be able to step towards that guy. The quarterback needs to load the weight on his plant foot, transfer it from his back to his front. So we like to use the number 80-20, okay? So we want 80% of the weight on our back foot and the other 20 on our front foot, on our which is what we call our target step, okay? So we want to be able to transfer that weight from our back foot to our front foot to increase the velocity on the football, okay? The next thing, we talk about the target step. This is the step that we're going to lead with. It is a short, quick step that leads the quarterback towards his target. This step should remain inside of the plant foot, okay? Make sure that we're not overstride. This step should help the quarterback keep a tight, quick throwing motion that's compact, okay? And the next thing is, again, we talked about the 80-20 rule of transferring 80% of the weight from the back foot to the front foot, okay? So here's some examples of the plant foot in depth. So if I'm a right-handed quarterback, my plant foot is the right foot. My target foot is the left foot, okay? If I'm a left-handed quarterback, my plant and target foot is my left leg, okay? My plant and trail step is my left leg, and my right is my point target leg, okay? All right, and so the biggest thing what we tell our quarterback here is on this plant, his right foot, we want to plant, transferring that weight from right to left. So you can see it right here from his back to his front, transferring it from his right leg to his left leg here, as you see Peyton Manning. Now, the biggest thing is what we want to prevent quarterbacks from doing is stepping out with the heels, okay? If he steps down with his heel, it's going to put him in the position to overstride. So step down on those toes and put the whole cleat in the ground. So we step down, we prefer to step down with our toes instead of our heel, okay? And that's going to allow us to bring our weight through by putting that weight on the toe and then bringing the heel down after that, letting the heel touch first, okay? Okay, so we want to get the toe down, okay, again. We don't want him struggling bringing his weight through. Now here you can see what Nick Dosher to the right here where this arrow is at. You can see right here where he has his target step, which is the right, this left leg here, this left knee. That's his target step to his target. His plant step now is this right leg. Right here is his plant step and also what we call his trail foot, which is what we want to square up towards his body and square him up towards his target, okay? But you can see here Nick has good flexibility, a nice bend, and his target step here, which is left leg for a right-handed quarterback. Okay, so here's some drills we work to emphasize that stuff again. So you can see two of our quarterbacks in our program. Here's Brandon Costa, our starting quarterback. Lem Foley's a good young quarterback from Massachusetts, who's going to be a sophomore coming up this year. Okay, but so here again, where we have him standing up, we have a nice pre-form. You see he's got the football below his ear. Okay, he's got his elbows 4 inches apart with them being down. Okay, football is right there between the shoulders and number level, right here. And he's got his chin on his shoulder. So again, we want hot feet bent and we want a triangular base. And again, we want to transfer that weight from Lem's right leg to his left leg, which is his target step. So what he should do is he's going to plant, okay, off his right. Okay, he's going to step with his left towards the target. He should square up with his right foot, squaring his whole body up towards his target as he finishes. He wants to finish across his body. So let's take a look at his footwork here. Again, we'll coach him the footwork and upper body, okay? And we'll talk about this upper body throw-on motion here in a minute, okay? But you see here with limbs, got a nice triangular base, nice hot feet, step towards his target, bringing that weight through, throwing down his target, okay? And when we're doing these drills, what I try to tell him is throw down your target. Try to hit him in his nose. Try to hit him in his nose area, face mask area, okay? We don't want to just be throwing just to be throwing, you know? So have a purpose, and we give them a trajectory, give them something to aim at. And that's the other thing we talk to our quarterbacks about, not just accuracy and ball placement, but we talk to them about different path trajectories for different type of routes. Okay, so here's a good example right here with all the lower body mechanics, put it all together with Sam Bradford here, the lower body and also the upper body, holding the ball, the pre-passing form, and lower body fundamentals. So here's a good one here where he has a nice good drop. Here's that triangular base. Okay, he's transferring that weight from the right foot over to his left foot here, okay? And you can see here where he's generating power, transferring that weight, nice knee bend on the front knee here, and he's throwing down on that target, okay? Now, if he blocks this knee out, what this forces the quarterback to do is, when we talk trajectory, the ball is gonna sail on you. When you bend your knee, you can drive the ball a lot more better with knee bend, okay? So right here, you see him with a nice big finish across his body, okay? Driving it in there. Let me go to the tight for you. Okay, again, good passing, pre-passing form, nice drop. You can see her chin on the shoulder. Now here it is right here. Okay, plant foot, right leg, transferring the weight from the right to the left foot. His left foot, because he's a right-handed quarterback, is his target step. That's the step that he's gonna step to his target with. He should have a slight bend in his knees to allow his weight to come through at that point, okay? And there you can see here, he's got a nice chin on his shoulder here, so he can throw down on his target and he can see the field, okay? Being able to see the field. Being able to see the field and not tip off where you're throwing. So good job of stepping, generating that power, and throwing down on this target. Okay, here's one of our kid here at Bates doing it. Okay, year one, okay? Getting it out, loading that back foot, okay? So you can see here his plant foot, sorry, right, that one, go back here. So you can see here his plant foot, right here his right foot. You can see his right, and now you can see his target foot where it's slightly bent. And I'll go to the tight so you guys can see it here and how he drives it and how he's shifting that weight over. And again, talking about his lower body base. We'll get to the upper body here in a minute. Okay, so again, loading from throwing to my left here. Okay, right-handed quarterback, I'm loading my right foot, and I want to transfer that weight over to my left foot. Okay, 80% on the plant foot. Now it needs to transfer over to the 20% market on the left foot. And again, we want to have a nice knee bend. So you can see here where Brandon has a short step towards his target, and he's got his knee bent, which is now allowing him to bring his weight through and square his body towards the target. All right, now we're on upper body mechanics. So the biggest thing we talk about, the quarterback's non-throwing shoulder, we want that pointed at his target, okay? Should be pointed at his target. All right, in the passing arm, okay? His passing arm, once he gets ready to pass the ball, he should form an L with his arm. And what that means is, as I'm coming off, once I've identified my receiver and I'm ready to throw, I want to now get that ball up, okay, in an L position. And what that means is I want to get my elbow, my throwing elbow aligned with my throwing shoulder, okay? And that's where you form that big L. So you can see here, Drew Brees, one of the best quarterbacks of the past 25 years here, has his throwing arm in a big L, non-throwing shoulder pointed at his target. And now you can see where B. Costa, our kid here at Bates, is emulating the same thing you seeing Drew Brees do here, okay? Excuse me. The biggest thing is, you know, we want to get that elbow up. You know, we want to get that ball behind the helmet here. So you can see it right here where he's forming that big L, getting that ball up and behind that helmet, okay? And the next thing is we want to have a nice, tight circular motion. And we want to lead with this elbow. And as we lead with this elbow, we want this elbow to lead our pass form, okay? Let me get to the next picture here. So now, again, echoing what I just said about that elbow, we want to lead with that throwing elbow, and we want to get that thing high as our throwing shoulder. We want to get as high as our throwing shoulder, okay? And during this motion, the quarterback quarterback ball should be high, elbow should be higher, if not higher than his shoulder, okay? And we want to leave the elbow on the throwing motion. I know I repeat myself, but again, that's what we want. And we want to have a good vertical head with elbow as we're throwing. We don't want our head off to the side. We want to try to maintain as much square posture as possible so we can have a clean finish and follow through. All right. So talking about the trail foot and the finish, okay? So we're going to go back to the plant foot here, okay, and the finish. So we're talking about the finish. We want our quarterback, as he finished towards his target, coming off that big L and leaving the elbow, we want to finish across his body square. We want to finish across his body square here, okay? Follow through at the top. Follow through at the top. Be clean, be under control, finish. So you can see here where his plant step is transferring that weight over to his target step here, and he should finish square here, okay? Finish square. Rotating his body towards his target, okay? And again, you see where he's bringing that trail foot. That's where the plant foot becomes the trail foot, okay? The plant foot becomes the trail foot, which now that means we're squaring our body with both foot towards the target. The other thing we tell our quarterbacks is this. We want to make sure we got our cleats in the ground. If you're hopping around and your feet are not on the ground, the ball's going to be late. The ball's going to be late. It's not going to come out, okay? So again, we want to snap that throwing shoulder and finish across our body. Whip that thing. So now, here's an example of our Carson Wentz. I know guys are wondering why so much Wentz. The reason being is we study so much film here at Bates of different programs around the country, college, NFL. He was one of the more fundamental side quarterbacks that I've seen in the last 2 years, outside of all the other stuff that I heard people say about him. But here you can see he plays with a good base, okay? He has the ball in a good pre-passing form. He has that triangular base we talked about. Here's that short target, no step here. He's got a slight bend in his knee. So now it's going to allow that plant foot, which now becomes a trail foot, to come through and squirt towards his target, okay? But watch this base. Okay, watch his lower body base, slight bend, bringing that weight through. Okay, if he had his knee locked all the way out here, he would have a hard time bringing his weight through and drive his ball the way he does right here. Okay, this ball will get away from him. Okay, again, upper body fundamentals. Can't echo this enough. Okay, chin on the shoulder. Okay, two hands on the football, lead step toward the football, drive it in there. Okay, here's one from the tight of him doing it. Okay, again, here's the plant step. The plant step, which is the right foot now, okay, is now going to become the trail step, which is now finishes the follow through. Okay, it's going to now complete his follow through. So right here, you see here now the plant step becomes a trail step, the right foot. Here's his target step, which is target step knee is slightly bent, and now he throws down on his target. Okay, two hands on the football, chin on the shoulder, throwing down the football, throwing down his target. Excuse me. All right, here's Drew Brees. Here's an example of Drew Brees doing the same thing. Okay, put it all together. Lower body. Here's the complete drop. Here's that triangular base we talked about. Here's the bend in the knees that we talked about. Chins on the shoulder right here. Okay, his non-throwing shoulders towards target. Ready to go with his plant step, with his target step, excuse me. And now here's where the plant step becomes a target step. And watch where he finishes across his body. He snaps this thing across his body. That's what we always tell our quarterback. Nice vertical square finish. Okay, try to keep your head vertical as possible. We want a big finish, and we want to rip that throwing shoulder across our body. Here's an example of it. Okay, and we'll talk about that big L. So you see here where he's getting that throwing shoulder as high as his throwing shoulder, his throwing elbow, excuse me. He's getting his throwing elbow as high as his throwing shoulder here. Okay, again, we want to get the football behind our helmet and up and out. And we want our elbow to lead. So you see here what Drew is doing a really good job of leading with his elbow. He's got good elbow height on his shoulder. He's following through. So here's his here's his target step on his target with a slight bend in his knee. And now his plant step and now is going to become square, which now is going to become his trail step. So there's the plant step. Now it becomes a trail step because now it completes the follow through, which we want to be square on his target and throw down. And again, we want to finish across our body. Finish across our body with a clean square finish in the body. All right. Here's some of the warm-up drills we do. We come out to the practice field. What we'll do is we'll start our day with pat and go to loosen our receivers up, or some type of fast screen drill, low tempo. We want to coach the details. We want to get kids warmed up. We don't care so much about speed in our end. These are warm-up. What we do care about is high-level details. We want our kids to get the details. And so once we explain that to them, once we're in a team situation, we want to see you execute those details as fast as you humanly can. But when the kids in the ND warm-up period, that's the time to be a good coach. We don't need to see speed and bust kids' chops there. We want to slow things down and make sure we're doing a good job of articulating and teaching. And when we tell our kids, if we're teaching that way, then it shouldn't be an effort issue on the field. You should not have, if we have a low mile build-up Indy, okay, well, we're asking you just to listen to the details and to articulate the details, then you should be able to go full speed because we didn't kill you in Indy. So now we want you to go full speed and play with the details that you got in your meetings and also on the field, okay, at the walkthroughs. So line drops is one of the first things we do, okay? What we emphasize here is upper body and lower body form and drop quality. So it's a couple ones we can do, but here's the fours we do. We do mix and match about 6 of them, but the biggest ones we do are the most simple ones is the big reach, karaoke, mini crossover, and 4-speed drop. And then we'll do open and close and some different ones from there. And we'll also do some fast speed drops where we'll do a clap drill where he has to stop in the middle of his drop, square up, and give me a nice clean ball. But he has to execute the lower body fundamentals, upper body fundamentals that we talk about daily. Okay, so he has to just play that daily. So here you see McGovern. Here a kid that I had at Bergen Catholic that was a quarterback I had at Wagner during our championship year here. His uncle coaches for the Philadelphia Eagles. You can see he has good fundamentals here again with his chin on his shoulder. Okay, he's got his elbows 4 inches from his body down, not really like he's choking the chicken here. Okay, 2 hands on the football, eyes down the field. Okay, eyes down the field. So here's some examples of us doing it here with our quarterback. So we coach the big reach. So all what we're telling our quarterback to do here is, again, we want to coach stance and start. The first thing is make sure you always coach your stance and start. Okay, as we get here, we want to work the first part of our drop, which we're talking explosion step. So when you talk big reach, that big reach is an explosion step. It's a step that you want to take to get away from the line of scrimmage and get as much depth as possible in your drops. So what we want to do is here, we don't want any crossover. We just want him to kick off of his target step. So if he's a right-handed quarterback, he is pushing and sliding off of his left foot. Okay, he's pushing and sliding off his left foot, which is his target foot. He's reaching with his plant foot. He's reaching for depth, okay? But we don't want any crossover. So again, kicking off the left, reaching for depth with the right. Okay, kicking off the left, reaching for depth with the right. Okay, so again, you can see where Brandon's pushing off the left foot, reaching for depth, reach for depth. Now we don't want as much crossover as you're seeing here. Okay, we want to just really reach and push, okay? So let's take a look at Lim, the freshman from Mass. Again, making sure you're, again, coaching form, okay? Chin on the shoulder, okay? Elbows 4 inches from the body, okay? Ball just below the ear, okay? Ball between the shoulders and the numbers, okay? Again, big reach, okay? Big reach, okay? And I would like to see Lim be a little bit more dynamic with that drop, okay? I would like to see him be a little bit more dynamic here. Okay, here's a local kid, my man Jack Bryant, a local kid from the area here who I like a lot, love, one of the smartest kids I probably ever coached. Okay, so here you can see here what Jackie, okay, where he's dropping, now he's articulating a lot here with his feet. And that's what we want. Get away, reach. I would like to see him reach more with his back foot a little bit more here. But Jackie at this point too is fresh off of, he had mono, so he was away for a while. So it's kind of like he just kind of got back in the flow of things. So now here's our karaoke where we want to rotate our hips, okay? And again, what we want to tell our quarterbacks is stay on the line. As we do these drops, stay on the line. If you're dropping out the line, you don't have a clean drop. We don't want to drop diagonally. We want to drop vertical back, okay? So now again, we want the ball up and here in a nice pre-form pass position, and we just want to rotate our hips with our eyes vertical on an imaginary target. So I'm snapping the ball to him, so I'm his imaginary target. Again, we want to show good upper body fundamentals, and now we want to rotate these hips. Okay, and what we're doing here is that we're warming the quarterback's lower body up. We're warming them up, getting ready for the drops. So now you can see where Costa is executing the mini drops here. Okay, so this is mini. So we want to go mini with quick. So he's going to take a mini drop, and they're going to be quickly as he humanly can take them, okay? So again, quick drop, quick crossover. Okay, we want many crossovers here. If we was dropping back in our drop back game, we would want a little bit more wide of a drop. But here again, we're warming up working on the sharpness of our drop and the quickness of our drop, okay? All right. The next drill we'll do once we warm them up, once we get them on the field and we work our drops and upper body fundamentals, we're now going to break them down and we're going to work our pre-passing form, upper body pre-passing form, okay? So we're going to get on the knee and then we're going to stand up and then we're going to stand sideways perpendicular and then we're going to get up and put it all together with a nice wide base and hot feet, and we're going to, you know, work on transferring our weight from our front leg to our target step, squaring our body up towards the target, okay? So those are the 4 things that we want to emphasize here. Again, fundamentals, okay? We want our elbows down 4 inches from our body, okay? We want the ball just below our ear, okay? And we want the ball between our shoulders and numbers here. And again, you can see where Alex got 2 hands on the football, chin on the shoulder. And now we want, again, just like with the Drew Brees example, we want to get this ball up and form a big L. We want this right arm as high as the shoulder. We want to lead with the elbow and we want to finish across our body. Okay, so here it is right here. Example of our kids doing it here at Bates, getting the ball up. Brandon does a really good job of getting his chin on his shoulder, getting the 2 hands on the football, ball just below his ear, and between his numbers and shoulders here. And you can see where Brandon's doing a good job here of leading with his elbow. And he's got the ball behind his head. He's leading with his elbow, and he's getting his throwing elbow as high as his throwing shoulder. There's the follow through we want. Again, we don't want to just be throwing the ball. I always tell our kids, there's the difference between a pass team and a throwing team. Okay, we don't want to be a throwing team. We want to be a high efficient passing team that completes ball. So again, we want to work accuracy. So right here, we want to finish and try to hit him in the nose or the face mask with the football. And again, we want to finish across our body. Finish across your body, stay as square as possible. Okay, again, lead with that elbow, leading with that elbow, leading with the elbow, getting as high as the shoulder, and finishing across his body. All right, so now once we get them down there on the ground, we'll probably give them anywhere between 6 to 8 throws a piece or whatever. If I see something I don't like, we just start the whole drill over. As you guys know, at quarterback, you can't have bad habits. You guys always repetition, footwork, upper bodies. Any of that stuff can throw off and make you a bad or inefficient quarterback. So we want to be an efficient quarterback. So here now, we're working squaring up towards our target. So we got both kids squaring up, and now we just want to finish square across our body here, okay? So we're just working square finish, okay? So we got the targets finished, and we're working follow through, and he's throwing down on his target. So here you see Liam getting the ball up high his shoulder. He's leading the elbow, and he's finishing across his body, okay? So right-handed quarterback, finish across your body on the left leg, stay as square as possible, keeping your head square and body under as much control, square and vertical as possible. And here's Costa doing it, 2 hands, nice big lead. You can see here how he gets this ball up. Okay, he gets his elbow as high as his shoulder. He's got a nice big follow through. He's finished across his body with a nice, comfortable square finish, and his head stays vertical. Head stays vertical. And that's all we want, clean, accuracy, finish. So again, we're working on the torso and finish across our body. So now let's take a look at it right here. Case Keenum, okay? You're gonna see him get a chance to put this all together, squaring up towards his target, okay? With all the steps and stuff like that. Again, nice pre-passing form, chin on the shoulder, okay? Good job of loading that weight on his plant foot, okay? Nice bend in his target step, okay? Nice bend which allowed his weight to come through. And you can see where he snapped that front shoulder and throws down on his target here, okay? So again, here's one of those examples of, okay, snap is not as clean as you want it, but again, 2 hands up, got the hands up. This is why we got to have our hands up ready for the football. Good job of tracking it with his eyes, you know, keeping his eyes on the football, looking it in, getting it up to a good pre-passing form, okay? Loading that weight on his back foot with a nice knee bend here on the target step, okay? So now his plant step becomes his target, his plant step becomes his trail step, excuse me. And that's that nice big square finish. Okay, again, here's that big L we talked about. Here's the L. Here's that L. Okay, getting that L as high as the shoulder. Okay, getting that elbow as high as the shoulder, forming that big L. Now, leading with that elbow. Again, ball should be slightly behind the helmet. Again, you shouldn't leave this elbow. All right, we talk about throwing on a run. All right, and I know it's a lot of different theories about throwing on a run. and we do run a lot of bootlegs and sprint out here at Bates College. And I'll be the first one to tell you guys this. We do believe in sprinting the quarterback to his dominant side. We do, okay? But we're not one of those teams where we're going to pigeonhole the kid and say, hey, we're only going to roll and boot you to your right. Here's the problem that I have with some quarterback coaches when they say to kids, and I agree with them, you should sprint a kid to his dominant side because it does increase his level of success. But you guys know as well as I know, sometimes the defense may pressure from his right-hand side and force him to run and throw left. So you got to be able to teach a quarterback to run and throw left as well as you do on the right-hand side, because if a chaotic moment happens, he breaks out into a scramble drill, he still needs to be able to have the experience and also the skill set and the work to be able to execute throwing away from his non-dominant side. And I'll talk to you guys what we tell our kids when we're throwing to his non-dominant side. But just like every other coach around the country, we prefer to sprint and boot to his dominant side if we can. But a lot of times we may get the wrong hash, a hash that might not be ideal, and the sprint out or boot may be the best play versus that particular defense. So again, we're gonna rep the quarterback sprinting out and booting out left and right. And I'll tell you what we do when we have a quarterback who's right-handed sprinting left. I'll tell you how we coach him up. All right, the biggest thing we tell our quarterback to do here on sprint out is that when he catches the ball, he's gonna explode away from the line of scrimmage. He's gonna think, break, contain. He's gonna probably chase the tailback for about 1 yard depth, okay? So that ensures he gets away. So we tell him to open and chase the tailback's depth so that ensures that he gets away. We want to keep our eyes up, never look at the ground. We want to keep 2 hands on the football, okay? Get that ball up right away, 2 hands on the football. And we want to get our eyes up looking for potential receivers. So whatever our progression is, if we're throwing smash, we know our progression is going to be high-low. We want to get our eyes to the hitch, then to the corner route, okay? And we're keying the corner, okay? How low in that corner to the play side, okay? The quarterback, okay? One of the things is be prepared to throw the ball right away on or off rhythm at all times, okay? What we tell our quarterback is this, okay? He needs to turn his shoulders toward the target and let the ball go. We want to chase our target and we want to finish square on our target. We don't want to fade away from our target like a jump shot. We want to chase our target, chase our throw all the way down. So we tell our quarterback is right-handed. We want to get the ball up right away to our dominant side. So if I'm going right, I want to catch it, and I want to get it up right away to my dominant side. Here's the problem when they go left. When they go left, he wants to get the ball up to his right, which at times what it does is it forces him, it prevents him, from getting his shoulder square. So we tell the quarterback if he's going left, then he needs to get the ball up on his left shoulder and chase his throw, and that's going to naturally get him to rotate the platform. So if I'm going left, get the ball on my left hand, on my left, okay, no matter what. If I'm going right, get it up immediately with 2 hands on my right shoulder, okay? But we really, when we tell him going to the left, the biggest thing you can tell him going to the left is get the ball up on your left shoulder immediately. Now get your torso, which is now going to help you naturally turn your torso towards your target, okay? And I got examples of that too. All right, so here it is right here again. Again, make sure we're coaching good steps to start. He's going to open step, chasing that tailback, 2 hands on the football. Okay, running through his target here, 2 hands, chasing his target. Getting dealt, getting away, chasing his target. And Brandon does a good job of chasing the target, finishing square. We don't want to fade away. We don't want to fade away. So here's our young freshman kid, gets it up and gets it out. And again, we want to finish at our target. So I got examples of NFL teams doing it and as well as Bates College executing the same scheme. So here, you see Carson Wentz does a good job of opening up, okay, kicking off his left foot, opening his right foot, 2 hands on the football, getting a little depth. And again, great finish, great square finish, chasing his target, great finish. Now, when we tell our quarterback if he's going right and if we're trying to get the ball out quick, he needs to be ready to get the ball out within his third to fifth step. If he's going left, then it's going to be, you always add 2. So then it's going to be 5 and 7 at that point, 7 and 9, excuse me. It's 3 and 5 to his right if he's dominant, and it's 5 and 7 to his left, okay? So here, good job of finishing, squaring up towards his target. Again, exploding off the left foot, reaching with the right, 2 hands up, and then just chasing your target. Don't fade away. Now, here's one right here. So you got to put some of the bad stuff on here too, okay? So here's one on the goal line with him sprinting here, okay? The only thing I don't like about what he did here, I like the accuracy, I like everything else. I don't like how his feet jumps, and I don't like his finish. So he fades away from his target, okay? Chase the target no matter what. Continue to chase the target. Now, it works out here, but again, we want to chase the target. Chase the target. So I put that one on there with the understanding, just show you guys that it is some bad examples. And again, you know, we want to make sure that we're squaring up, chasing our targets. So we want to put the good as well as the bad. All right. So here's one right here with our local main kid, Jack Bryant, okay? So here's our young quarterback, Jack Bryant, against Bowdoin. Gets the ball up and out, right shoulder immediately. Here's that example. Right shoulder in and out. Chase his target. He finished square. Good completion, okay? By in-state quarterback. Love in-state quarterbacks, okay? Good job. 2 hands of the football. Doesn't come out till he's ready to throw it. So again, you can see here, our quarterbacks understand if they're taking the first read and he's going right, he wants to try to get that thing out between 3 and 5. If he's going left, it's going to be 5 and 7. You always add 2. So now we're going left. So now we go left. We want to get it up left. The reason we want to get it up on our left shoulder is going to naturally help us turn our torso and finish towards our target. Okay, so here, there it is right here. It's going to naturally force him to turn the torso. And again, okay, this sprint out going to his non-dominant side takes more reps. But again, I'm just going to tell you guys, you need to be able to teach your quarterback to throw on the run left and right. Again, defenses in the spot of the football, sometimes you can't control it. And that one time, you're going to need to be able to go to your left. So for a lot of guys to say, well, coach, you sprint this guy to his right a lot, you put the kid in a position to fail. I can show you this year where we throw 4 touchdowns to him going away from his dominant side. Okay. So again, here's a local kid, Jack Bryant, gets it up left, naturally rotate the torso, getting it out. Okay, going left. Here's our freshman, naturally getting the torso turn. Now, the big thing here, if he kept this right on his shoulder, what it would do is it will push him to go laterally instead of coming down here at more of that 45. So here it is again, where we're going left. Okay, again. Okay, for the non-believers that say don't go to your left, coach it up. Okay, in this game here, you know, in this situation, we had second down schemed up, and we thought in the middle of the field, sprint out was our best play. Ideally, we wanted it on the left hash, but again, we didn't get the spot we wanted because whatever happened to play before doesn't matter. Sprint out is our best play for this situation. So now, again, we want to make sure this kid is prepared to run to his left, you know, because again, if these people pressure him and the protection breaks down, he's got to sprint left and go left, okay? So we want to make sure our quarterback is trained to throw going to his non-dominant side. But again, what I would tell you guys, keep him going to his dominant side as much as possible, but be prepared for the worst. So again, here's one more example where Jackie has his hands up. We have a poor snap. Gets it down, he handles the poor snap. Gets the ball caught, 2 hands on the football, okay, gets the torso naturally turned, okay, just enough. He gets it just enough. I like to see him angle a little more. He gets just enough where he squares and chases the target in sufficient pass. Okay, so now here's one going to the left, okay? So for those non-believers that say, oh, you shouldn't do that. You're putting the kid in a position to fail. To a degree, maybe, but if we coach this up and we rep it, we should be okay. So again, the ball got caught on the wrong hash. Sprint out was a play we liked it in the red zone versus Hamilton, and ideally we wanted it on the left hash. But again, it didn't work out that way. Our kids know that, hey, we're not going to change. Whatever we do right, we got to be able to do left. But like any good coach, we're going to try to keep you to your strengths, okay? So again, he gets it up to his left. Okay, we want to chase this target. Chase. Okay, now the one thing I would say, I don't like what we be doing here. I don't like the fade here. I don't like the fade. Just continue to finish. See this through. Okay, but he gets his body squared just enough. And again, he's going away from his non-dominant side, so it's not always going to look pretty. But he squares his body just enough to get enough on this football and drive it in there for a touchdown. So again, I got to be critical of my kid. Okay, this is not what we coach. His hands need to be up, ready for the football. Should be up, ready for the football. Good job handling the snap, getting the ball up to the left shoulder, turning the torso. Okay, again, he gets just enough of his body square on his target. All right, pocket presence. And we talk pocket presence. The biggest thing we tell our quarterback is this, okay? Understand your launch point. Where's your launch point? Where we want you at? For the most part, now drop back is going to be directly over the center at 12 and 6 o'clock, okay? We want to stay on our launch point. What I tell our quarterback is this. He wants to stay on the launch point until the rush forces him off his launch point with two hands, keeping two hands on the football with his eyes down the field, okay? And we want to maintain our proper throwing fundamentals, okay? And we need to naturally feel defenders around us, not look at the rush, not see them. We need to naturally feel guys around us. We need to have two hands on the football all times. Don't look at the rush, keep our eyes up down the field while we're moving around in the pocket, because as we're looking at the ground and we're moving around, once you're forced to move around the pocket, we know guys are breaking up and down the field. And we don't want to miss those guys that are breaking up and down the field. So one of the drills we do several ways, and you guys can do this drill several ways. So we'll come out here either with tennis balls or volleyballs or whatever kind of balls we can get our hands on, beach balls. And what we'll do is we'll work pocket presence. So what I'll tell our quarterback is this, okay? We're going to emphasize good stance. And then here's our concept of the day. So if we got 4 verts in, he's going to go through his 4 verts, footwork and progression and protection fundamental. So his eyes need to start to a progression side, okay, progression side in the call of the protection. All right, so we want to make everything like as much as a real life game as possible. Again, I want clean drop, and the play may come in, hey, 82 verticals, 82 verticals. So he now knows if it's 82 verticals, he's going to take a clean, good drop vertical. Okay, he's going to stand on a lunge point. He's going to go through his progression. He's not going to come off that lunge point unless the defense forces him to come off the lunge point. So what you're going to see here, again, you take tennis ball, volleyballs, you can use people, whatever. So here today, I decided to use, I think, lacrosse balls here. Okay, since moving to the Northeast up here, I've become a real big fan of lacrosse, so stuff like that. So I'm a big guy. I like to steal a lot of different equipment from a lot of different sports. So this time I stole a couple of lacrosse balls to articulate some of these drills. So again, you can use baseballs, beach balls, volleyball, soccer ball, whatever for the drill, or you can use people, okay? And you can also articulate this drill with 4 people, 2 people, as many as you want to go through your pocket presence. So here's the biggest we go through, okay? So again, we're coaching the stance start. Okay, again, you see here getting his feet and hands ready. We want a clean drop. So right here, you tell we're probably going through 82 verticals here. So he's now looking for the bender to outside to his check down. Now he's never looking at the rush. He's checking the progression. So you can see where he's checking the seam, doesn't like the seam. He's looking for his outside guy. Now, okay, now he's starting to move. Third progression, start to move. Look for your check downs. Don't look at the rush. Keep your eyes down the field. Keep your eyes down the field. Now, the biggest thing we tell him is this, okay? When you take your drop, keep a nice base. Don't jump around. Keep your feet nice and high. Keep your feet nice and high. Don't over-exaggerate it. Don't over-exaggerate it. And keep a nice base. Keep your feet shoulder width apart, forming that triangular base. Because the quicker that we can keep our feet shoulder width apart with that triangular base, the quicker the ball comes out. If we got our feet together and we don't have this base, the ball will be delayed in its delivery. So we want to have a triangular, nice triangular base so the ball comes out efficiently. If his feet are together, this ball won't come out as fast. So again, we don't want to click our heels. We want to maintain that triangular base. We want to maintain the triangular base. Okay, going through our progressions. Nice and easy. Now his feet could be just a little bit more active. Okay, again, eyes on the football, 2 hands up. Okay, again, see the rush. Feel the rush. Sorry, feel the rush. Feel the rush. So again, he's going through his progression. Okay, stay on his landmark, his lunge point until he's forced off of it. Okay, so here's some game examples. Again, TCU, here's a team that runs a similar offense to us. So again, we try to, always try to keep our kids watching people that run the same offense or, i.e., their favorite players in the game. Okay, so here's one right here of TCU. Okay, again, he's on the lunge point here. Okay, Kenny Trill here. Okay, now the pocket is collapsed a little bit, so it's forcing him to step up off his lunge point. And as we come off this lunge point, we tell our quarterback, keep 2 hands on this football. Keep your eyes down the field, because as you're moving, people are breaking open. People are breaking open, okay? So 2 hands on the football, good job of ripping this ball, feeling defenders around him, ripping underneath here, following through, chasing this throw. So there you can see right there where the tennis ball pocket pressure drill carried over here. So again, stay on your lunge point. Lunge point is directly behind the center. Okay, at 12 o'clock, we want to stay on that lunge point until we're forced off of it. Okay, lunge point is getting compromised a little bit. He steps up in there. Steps up in there, keeping his eyes down the field. Now here's our kid. One of the best plays I've seen him make this year. This is what he grew up at a lot this year. A year ago, he would have stepped up, he'd have ran this ball. Okay, he's getting good at feeling people around him. So here you can see where we're coaching him to pull that back shoulder through. I know I didn't talk a whole lot about that shoulder action. You know, that's a different conversation for another day. But here we want to, you know, two hands of the football. And as we slide up, we tell our quarterback to rip that throwing shoulder underneath there with two hands on the football, sliding up, trying to keep your eyes down the field, squaring up to your target as much as possible. Here you can see where Brandon kind of extends his feet. But the one thing, again, is Skip knows as well as anybody, a year ago, that meant go for him. He's trying to now stay in there and throw the ball down the field, which he's doing a much more better job at. So good job. He went through his progressions. His progression is supposed to start right and work left. So it happened that his first progression was there. He took it. And again, his lunge point was compromised a little bit. So you can see here where our left tackle here is, again, is shortening the edge. And you see where Costa rips up. He rips the football up, stepping up. Okay, coming off the lunge point slightly, keeping his eyes down the field. Okay, here's another one. Okay, and this one is as impressive as anyone I've seen. This play here was one of the biggest plays in NASCAR this past year. It went for 75 yards against Williams, which I'm quite sure you guys know. Williams, in my opinion, maybe the best coach team in our conference. Really good program. I really like them a lot. They do a really good job. And this is us versus them. I think the second series of the game this year, we come out, we got a big play on them, okay? And right here, he hoofed this thing for 75 yards. You know, one thing I would say about Costa, he has a very live arm. This kid, you know, he has a live arm as any quarterback in the country. And again, this is what I'm proud of this kid at, okay? Lunge point gets compromised. Here's the tennis ball drill. He steps over. He's not looking to run. Okay, he steps over. I'd like to see two hands on the football now. I like to see two hands on the football. But here's what I'm proud of. Pocket present. Okay, lunge point compromise. He steps over it. He steps over it, keeping his eyes down the field, using the threat of run to get the ball off. And he found our kid streaking down the side, up the sideline, across the field. Again, a year ago, he would have ran this ball. He wouldn't have looked to throw it. He's trying to play from the pocket a little better, keeping his eyes down the field. All right, here's another one in year one with him. Good job of ripping up. There it is, right, two hands on the football, ripping that throwing shoulder up. Okay, now he does a good job keeping two hands on the football, and he's chasing his target. Here's that was on the run, chasing that target, squaring up. Okay, and that's the biggest thing, scramble drill. You know, we're coaching. We also like to coach the scramble drill because a lot of cheap yardage happen on the scramble. So right here, okay, feels the lunge point getting compromised. So he steps up, two hands on the football, rips, chase the target. And we still make a big play, get the first down. All right, I wish for whatever reason that clip is cut. But here's one in Hamilton, the one that tied the game for us, that put us in to close the season out. So right here, we get a little pressure. He's forced off the lunge point. Again, in the past, this kid would have ran this. Okay, but now he's learning how to use the threat of pass, the threat of run to help him in the pass game. He kept his eyes down the field. We have a receiver on the wheel route. He caught him one-on-one with the corner isolated, and we make a play. And this play right here, guys, put us in position to tie the game and eventually defeat Hamilton for the first time in 5 years. All right. I want to show this particular deal, the wedge, okay? The wedge was something I saw 2 years ago. Neil Gilmore was running around New England with the wedge and different stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you guys, if you guys got good tech people or good maintenance people on your campus or in your community, and some of that money you guys are spending buying stuff from these equipment places, I would see if I got a handyman in my area that can go to Home Depot and put together certain deals. So what we did here at Bates, instead of us paying $3,000 for these, okay, we just had our maintenance people put together these deals, and it saved our budget a lot of different money. So something that cost us $3,000 to get 3 of those boards, I think we ended up saving ourselves. We only gave our maintenance people $50 each for each one of those boards, and they made that for $150 for us. So, but the wedge I thought was a pretty good deal. One of the things I thought about it was it forces you to put all of your mechanics together. And the biggest thing was the lower body mechanics, which was the biggest thing where kids struggle at. And what I think is the most undercoached thing is the lower body mechanics. And if a kid understands that if he plays with clean, efficient lower body mechanics, the ball will come out fast and efficiently and accurately, okay? All right, so the biggest thing when we talk about the wedge, we want to emphasize not overstriding. We want to talk about front knee bend. We want to talk about not locking out that front knee. Sorry for the typo here, guys, okay? And then we want to talk about weight transfer, okay? So again, we want to talk about our stride, okay? And we want to talk about our front knee bend, and then we want to talk about the overall weight transfer. Okay, so the stride, okay? So what we'll do is we'll turn these boards towards the quarterback, the high end towards them. And what we're working on here is squaring up towards our target. So right here, you see where Brandon's target step is slightly bent, okay, facing Jack Bryant here. Okay, here's his plant step, which is now becomes his trail step, which now squares his body up towards his target. Okay, and that's what we want right here. And what this board is preventing him from doing is overstriding. It's from overstride after he's planting and transferring his weight forward. We want to prevent from overstriding. Okay, so you see Jack here with nice hot feet. He's got a triangular base here. He's going to step towards his target with nice bent knees. And now here's where his plant step becomes his trail step, where now it's going to square his body up with a nice square finish. All right, so here's a game example of it with that nice square finish we talked about. So here's that step we talked about. Here's constant transferring that weight. I would like to see him square his body up a little bit more here. You know, right here he kind of crosses it and narrows his base. We want to make sure you got a decent base now. Make sure your quarterback is always playing with decent base. But here you can see him playing with all the fundamentals we talked about. There's that bent, the bend in the target step, transferring the weight. Okay, here's that non-throwing elbow. Okay, and chin on the shoulder. Here's that L we talked about. Here's that follow through knee with the elbow. All of it, all has to come all in one. So anything we coach and put in during our indie drills, we have to see it show up in the game or in our practice live situations. If it doesn't show up in a live or a game situation, then we know we're shitty coaches. All right, so here's the knee bend. Okay, so we talk about the knee bend. So now we turn the ramp around. So we put the narrow end facing the quarterback. And what we want to do is we want him to step up on there. We want him to step up on this board. So we want to take, and you'll see Lim here, we want to take our target step and step onto this board about midway and maintain and bend between our knees and maintaining a good base. But the biggest thing is we want to step onto this board with our knee slightly bent, transferring his weight over. So you see where Lim steps. See what the board does here? It forces his knee to stay bent. So now he can throw down on his target and transfer his weight naturally. All right, so here's some examples in the game situation here. Okay, where he's playing with that bent knee. Okay, squaring up for his target. So you'll see here, the quarterback here from SMU. He's coached by Coach Lashley, who's now at Miami, the offense coordinator at Miami, another team that runs a system similar to us. So right here, you can see it right here with that knee bend and how it transfers that weight and allows that weight to come through. And also you can see the velocity, how he drives the ball by having that knee bend, okay? Having that knee bend allows him to drive that, put velocity on that ball and step towards his target and transfer his weight smoothly. So let's take a look at it right here. Again, if his knee is locked out, the ball's going to get away from him, and he won't be able to transfer his weight as smoothly. So again, plant step, slight bend in the target step. Okay, that bend allows his weight to come through with his back hip. Step, throw, and there it is. Get the ball in and out. Okay, here's one with our Carson Wentz. Okay, loading that back foot up again. There's that triangular base we talked about. Again, the quicker that your quarterback can get to this base and maintain this base, the quicker the ball will come out, okay? So there it is right there. There's that short step. Okay, now he's bringing that trail step up, squaring it up towards his body. And he's got a nice big follow through, finishing across his body. Okay, throwing down on his target. Okay, again, coaching that base. You can see right here where he's got that triangular base. Okay, transferring the weight from the back to the front. There's that slight bend right there in the target step. Bringing it through, he's throwing down his target. And again, we want to finish scoring our target. All right, here's Costa. There it is again. Do you see right here with the knee bend we're talking about on that front knee? Here's where he's going to transfer the weight. Okay, again, talking upper body fundamentals again. There's that elbow. Notice he gets the elbow up in that L, gets as high as his shoulder, and he finishes across his body. Good throw. Going to the wide field here. Okay, getting that weight up under him, generating that weight, transferring it over to his target step. He does a good job of transferring the weight and staying square. So he puts it all together. He puts it all together in this picture. All right, so here's the weight transfer. So now here's where we're going to turn the board back facing the quarterback. Okay, we're going to face it back towards him. Now he's going to step onto this board again, and now he's going to bring this right leg through. Okay, his plant foot through. Okay, the biggest thing is when we talk about this type of stuff with the board, we always want to have what we call a teach progression. It's always got to be a build up to it. And what we also want to do as we give these kids the details, we want to show him where this stuff is applying at. And so when we coach them, we try to break it down exactly like this so they can see it in phases, okay? So right here, you can see Brandon does a good job here, keeping his base. There's that nice triangular base we talked about, same as Peyton Manning. Nice active feet, not too sporadic. Now he steps on this board, nice bend in the front knee. Now he's gonna bring his right hip through, okay? The plant foot, transferring his weight over. Now becomes a trail step, and he's now gonna finish square across his body, transferring the weight. And there he is, finished across his body, nice and under control, okay? And again, we always want to keep echoing the details with him, echoing the details with him, echoing the details. And as annoying as that could be, or whatever, we always tell our kids, don't get bored with the details or hearing the same stuff. So right here now, we talk about that weight transfer and that front knee bend, okay? So now you see he's playing with a great base. He's driving this to the wide field here, to the stop route. Get it from this angle here, okay? So here's a good base. Make sure we don't overstride a little too here, but he gets a good bend in that knee, transferring that weight, okay? He's getting that elbow up, okay? Elbow as high as his shoulder, okay? Elbow's leading the way. He's finishing across his body. He's finishing square, head nice and vertical, looking down on his target, finishing square and down in his target, okay? And again, the biggest thing I always tell our quarterbacks, the faster you can get to your drop, the faster you can complete your drop and get your base to this triangular base, the quicker the ball is going to come out. If your feet are tight, it's going to delay the delivery of the football. If you have your feet off the ground and bouncing, it will delay the delivery of the football. All right, I'm going to open it up for some questions. That pretty much completes the presentation and stuff. Let me just try to get the screen up here. All right,
if you guys want to turn your cameras on and come on and ask some questions for Coach, go ahead.
Yeah, first off, great presentation, Coach. As a former quarterback, I really enjoyed seeing how detailed that you guys are with the quarterback play. It's kind of opened up my thinking a little bit to, even if it's just the simplest things, to cross your T's and dot your I's, especially with our young guys.
Yeah.
My question to you pertaining to how detailed you guys are with your quarterbacks at your college there. Do you guys monitor throws that a quarterback has in a certain practice?
Yeah.
Or during the week, much like a pitch count for a pitcher, a pitching coach would do?
Yeah, it's crazy you say that because we have to do it with our starting quarterback now, Costa. He throws the ball extremely hard. I mean, he has an impeccable arm. I mean, he's pretty gifted arm. God really blessed him with an arm on him. So we have to pitch count him. The other two I don't have to do that with and stuff like that. But here's how I look at it. When he starts to hurt, as a coach, you don't like it. But at the same time, I embrace it because I look at it as a chance to get the backup kid better. Because
Right.
you lose that kid, you got to be able to play without him anyway. So that's the biggest thing that I'm big on here. We are going to prepare two quarterbacks to play regardless how good the starter is. And our backup will make appearances, whether it's for a series, a game, or in a certain package. We are going to implement our backup quarterback into our game plan as long as he doesn't do anything to hurt us and stuff like that. But that's where it's a benefit for us. When he hurts, that gives reps to the other two kids to go out and get some reps that they usually wouldn't get. So we kind of embrace that negative as a positive that way.
So basically, just looking at it on a day
We
by
have
day
to do it with him.
practice, monitor it.
Yeah, we have to with him.
Yeah.
And so what I do is, and this is where having, people that want to be around your program, that want to be with the coaches or different support people. We have a great equipment girl here, and she's like the girl that grew up and remember the Titans. So she's just a real big football junkie. So what we do with her is I have her monitor his throws, short and deep, and she tells me, okay, he's throwing this amount of quick game today, he's throwing this amount of verticals. So we do have him on the pitch count, the amount of comebacks and the posts and deep balls we want to throw and stuff like that, So yeah,
Awesome.
honor to that with him.
Awesome. Thank you.
Coach Soren?
Yeah, go ahead.
That was good stuff. I really like all the Minnesota film too, as being a North Dakota kid.
Yeah, we got, the good thing is we got just about everybody in the country here and stuff like that. We're willing to share it with you guys too as well. And the biggest thing for us again is we try to, I really stress our coaches on teaching progression. I think the best thing happened to me was going back into the classroom, getting my master's 6 years ago, because the biggest thing it made me realize was all these years of coaching, like, fuck, you didn't have teach progression. You didn't, how much philosophy you really had. So it opened my eyes up to new ways of teaching different learners. And so what the biggest thing that we do now is we come in, we say, hey, here's the install sheet. The kids come on the board. So they have an install sheet. They have a virtual playbook of a PowerPoint or Visio, and then they have a video playbook. So now they're going to get the PowerPoint presentation. They're going to get a copy that they can take with themselves, and then they have a video playbook that they can match everything up to that we do. So now they get a chance to see how they should run that route. They get a chance to see how they should align, and they get a chance to mimic their favorite players in college and top NFL players. So we collect a lot of different stuff, but we only collect the stuff that pertains to what we want to do here at Bates.
Are you able to work with them much in off season or summer?
No, that's where it's difficult at. It's very hard because NASCAR rules is very, very, very funny. And so that's where it's very difficult. But what we try to do is during the times when we're allowed to meet with them and do stuff, we try to give them what we call a little homework project so we can try to stay within compliance of our NASCAR rules and stuff like that, because they are a little tricky on the off season. So what we do is we make our kids have to set appointments up to say, hey, coach, we want to reserve the film lab or whatever, but no coaches can be present. Only thing we can do is set the lab up and just make it available for them and maybe talk to them about maybe some questions about some things, but we can't really get too much into our off season with them.
Right.
And stuff like that. That's where it really stinks, stuff like that. But during the season, say in the early part of camp, we try to do a lot of different things. And then as we're winding down the last 2 weeks while it's in compliance, we try to give them everything that they're going to need to go into the off season and try to manipulate as much as the spring as we possibly can within NASCAR rules without it offending anybody.
Yeah. How much time do you think with pre-practice and Indy, how much total time do you think they get doing a bunch of those Indy practices?
All right, so our kids, quarterbacks, we get about 20 minutes. So we get about 20 minutes total, and then we have a lot of other group Indy where we'll go with receivers and running backs and stuff like that where we'll do a lot of group work. But we'll get about 20 minutes to 25 minutes where we can do some stuff with them. And then what I'll do during the special teams period, I'll try to look at the script and see what the heck they messed up on or receiver messed up on, and we'll just go ahead and drill that individual segment, or we'll use that special teams time as a way to get more Indy in. Again, our Indy is more so geared towards what's on our script. We don't just go out and just run an Indy to be running an Indy to look good. Our Indy has to match what our game call plan is going to be. So everybody's getting reps at it. Because even our backup, if a backup has to go into a game, he doesn't get a lot of the live reps, at least you covered yourself in Indy to a degree. So what we try to do is we try to simulate as much of our practice scripts, incorporate our game plan into our Indies as much as possible, and stuff like that. So anytime we get a chance to steal some extra time doing special teams, we'll work on a low tempo quarterback drill with his pocket presence, bags, or somewhere it saves his arm, or if he's not throwing a certain ball a certain way, we'll incorporate a drill that'll build us up to. So if we're throwing hole shots, we'll have a hole shot drill, and then we'll actually go through it and put it together with an actual live receiver. So that way I can coach the trajectory without a receiver being there, without a moving target. Hey, this is how we want the ball. Here's the footwork. Now we're going to put a moving target out there. So everything we do is just like no different from a unit plan in the classroom. It's a build-up.
That's great.
Do you guys have doubles in the preseason?
We don't have doubles. No, we have a true practice and we have a walkthrough. But we really can't do anything. I think we can have a football and cleats, but we can't have anything else like that. So it's a high level, intense walkthrough, or whatever, and stuff like that. But
Mark, when you guys are in doubles, what do you do with your cues? Do they throw in both practices, or you try to limit in one of the practices?
We do an offense defensive session. They might throw some skelly, but they're limited to mostly one practice.
Yeah, like if in that model, when I was at Fordham, when I was coaching them back in Fordham and Wagner, one of the things that we did was in doing the doubles, we would say, okay, in the morning, we probably want to get our verticals and down the field, intermediate passes out of the way. So depending on how much play action and stuff we threw that morning, we're going to come back and say, okay, this afternoon, guys, we need to work some quick game, fast screens, and just our RPO games. Let's just hammer that to save the kid arm a little bit, because it's always a segment of your system you can work. So what we do is we break it down in fast. So we'll say, okay, today we're going to work our shot plays. We're going to work shots and play action. All right, today, second session is going to be a big movement practice. We don't care. And we'll throw in a shot play to throw the defense off. But we know we're going to go in that whole practice. It's going to be a big sprint out and a big movement bootleg type day. So it helps us break down the different parts of the fundamental parts of the body of the quarterback that he's drilling and articulating. You know what I mean? So he's getting good and efficient at something. Try to break it down and try to keep. If we're throwing on the move passes, you might as well go ahead and stay in that phase and just add the boots or whatever. If you're doing play actions, you might as well articulate all your play actions, just make it a play action practice. For the most part, get good at it, and never get bored with the details.
What year were you at Fordham, Coach?
Man, I was at Fordham during the good years. I'll tell you what, I was there in 2007. We won that first championship. We had an NFL quarterback, John Skelton, probably the best recruit I ever recruited in my entire life. He got drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. So I was there from 2005 to 2011. And then from Wagner from 2012 to 2017.
You already answered my second question. I was going to ask about that pro QB that come out of Florida.
Oh yeah, Skelton. Yeah, man, it was crazy how we found him. And this is why you have to, every package letters you need to take the time to open and read. And if I didn't take the time to open that letter or return this uncle phone call, we don't get that kid. And stuff like that. And so it's crazy how it all happened. I think Ed Foley just got let go, and we came in. And the kid, he wanted to come to the Northeast. His uncle went to Columbia, somewhere like that. So he was looking for an Ivy League or Patriot League education. And so the uncle calls one day up to the office, and we was in a meeting. He's like, "Did you get my nephew's tape?" I'm like, "Who's your nephew?" He's like, "John Skelton. He's a quarterback." I was like, "No," I said, "We haven't seen that name," because I knew for sure, because I had went through all the boxes for all the receivers and quarterbacks, so I had to organize. I didn't see him. So I said, "Well, if he's as good as you're telling me, then the last staff just probably took his film." But I said, if you tell you what, if you send me his film, we'll evaluate him and we'll go from there, because we're looking for a quarterback. He said, "I'll do you one better. I'll drive him up to you, because he's going to tour the Northeast." And so we had a visit going on the week he was coming up, and I invited him over, and we got it done. And next week, Coach Marcello was in his house, and it was a done deal. And what was crazy, UTEP was messing around with offering the kid. Once they found out that he had offers in the Northeast, Mike Price then went ahead and offered the kid a full ride. But at that point, the kid was like, he's going north, and he valued the education. And we ended up the best player in the history in the past 25 years. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Special. I mean, all that stuff we just talked about on the ball with your body in line. He's the first kid I've seen in my career that I've been directly involved with. He can have his body pointed west and he can throw it north, literally like I said, with his body not facing his upper body. And that throw, that type of throw, his worst throw is some quarterback's best throw is what I'm saying. He didn't have to have sound feet. He can launch the ball from any angle without having his feet aligned. That's how freakish he was. Very gifted. He was very
Kind
gifted.
of sounds like Mahomes there a little bit.
Yeah, it was similar. It was similar. I wouldn't say quite, but it was very similar. I still got some film. I go back and look at it every once in a while, and we still use it in our installs. But he was freakish. Some of the stuff he was able to get away with, it was just ridiculous. He
That's
just was,
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome, Coach. Anything else out there? Anybody want to get one in before we close this down? Move on to the next one. You guys good out there?
Yep. I want to say this to you guys. Once this thing clears up, you're more than welcome to come to Bates. Our film library is always open. Like I said, we study a lot of different defenses around the country. Special teams library. We have a good offensive library with our stuff. Oklahoma, a lot of different people. NFL, just about every type of teacher tool you need here. So you guys are always welcome to come in here, sit down with us, study the game. And I have more quarterback stuff just like this that's available that talks about the different parts of quarterback play and receiver play. So whatever you guys need, I know one thing, we're going to do our part here at Bates, to do our part to serve the state of Maine, to do our part and give back. We're not just going to be takers. We're going to give. Okay?
Appreciate
Awesome,
that.
Coach. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Sure. All right, guys. Call me if you need anything. And Mike, thanks a lot, man. I know we'll be talking. And again, it's a pleasure and an honor speaking in front of you guys today.
You got it, man. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank
Take care,
you.
guys.
How you doing, Rick?
Hey, Mike,
Yeah,
it's Rick. What time should I chime in here tonight?
I'll turn it on about 6:15.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, man.
Much appreciated.